It's not even 8 a.m. and I'm knackered. I've just run to school and back twice. Years ago, before I had kids, a typical morning for me would be getting up at my leisure at 8 and then allowing a whole hour to have breakfast and get dressed, just me on my own. And it was lovely. 9 o'clock I had to leave, and invariably I'd leave running the house because I'd find I had lots of time left over, so I'd always think, I can just squeeze in one more task, and then suddenly it was late and I had to run. And I'd leave the house and be like, oh no, I've forgotten this, and I'd run back for it, run out of the house again, and then, oh no, I've forgotten something else, and run back for that. Or I couldn't find my keys, or I couldn't find my phone, and that was me. And it was okay, because I think most of the time it took me 45 minutes to get to work, and I left an hour because I knew I was always late. And so I had strategies, I had ways of managing this. Since having kids, it's got so much harder, and being married to someone who has the exact same issues with time management and last minute stuff and being late all the time. And it's really difficult, and I'm exhausted by it. And when the kids were babies, I had a very strict routine to make sure that we got out on time, and everyone was always impressed with my bag because it was full of things for every possible eventuality. And it's because I couldn't cope with the meltdowns that would ensue if I didn't have this or that. And we all get hangry, so I'd always take snacks with me, a wide array of snacks. When they were really little, I'd have multiple clothing changes and nappy changes and all sorts of bits and bobs, because the little ones found it very difficult to tolerate discomforts, as did I. And so we went equipped for a week whenever we went out for the day. And it was great, because we needed that stuff invariably. Always had a little mini first aid kit and stuff, yeah. So I managed to find my ways of working, and now the kids are a bit older, I've started relaxing a bit, and I don't have this routine, and every morning we run out of the house late because I can manage my own time, but my oldest is almost 10, so 10 years of managing other people's timings, and I still haven't quite figured it out. And it's because it changes. Each year changes because the timings change, their needs change, what they're able to do changes for themselves, or maybe my expectations change, whereas in reality I still have to do most things. Anyway, this morning my daughter's got a day trip, and she had to have a packed lunch, and I remember looking at this, flipping over to next week, all of last week, and trying to remind myself, saying I must remember her packed lunch on Monday. Anyway, flipped the calendar over, because I have a paper calendar, I need to be able to see everything. Flipped the calendar over and promptly forgot she needed a packed lunch. And thankfully I bumped into one of her little friends with a whole heap of packed lunch stuff on her lap, saying, what have you brought? To my daughter. And I was like, oh shit. So had to run back. I had 20 minutes to run back home, pack a lunch and go back out again. And thankfully, because she has offered, her packed lunch is a fairly simple, fairly restricted diet. So it's pretty much just breadsticks. I chucked an apple in there for good measure, just on the off chance she might try it, which is highly unlikely, but it made me feel a bit better about the lack of variety in her lunch. So I'm back and I'm knackered. I've got so many things to remember. And tomorrow afternoon, I have an appointment, and I hate afternoon appointments because I spend the whole day worrying that I'm going to miss it. I'm going to be late, so I think I'm going to have to set multiple alarms. And it's a 2-hour meeting. And the parking outside the meeting place is 2 hours. So I'm going to have to tell them that I'm going to have to leave early because the parking is only for 2 hours. So I have to talk quickly, but that's fine because I talk quickly anyway. So hopefully we can get through everything in 1 hour and 50 minutes. Or by the time I've parked up and gone in, it'll be 1 hour and 40 minutes. But yeah, this issue with time management it's really challenging, and it makes me really crave these moments of peace. I'm sitting in a hammock here, that's why I'm rocking slightly, a seating hammock. It's really nice, it's in the shade, and it's beautiful and sunny this morning. I do like Stockholm in the spring and the summer, absolutely love it, just wish it could extend by a couple of months. Anyway, I'm rambling. My brain went into this kind of fight mode, this battle mode of high adrenaline, got to remember everything, rush, do this. And now my brain's a bit zoned out. It's kind of I think it's given up for the day. So promised my son, he's not in school today, I promised to take him to the beach. So I've got to go make a thermos flask of tea. I might have another cup of tea first, that might set me up better for the day. I've recently discovered that caffeine actually calms him down too. My mother-in-law spent years trying to convince me to give my children caffeine in the morning, and I was like, absolutely not, they're hyperactive enough as it is. And recently I've discovered it actually calms my son down, so he has a cup of tea in the morning now. Wish I'd discovered that years ago, or wish I'd listened years ago. That's another of my things, I don't like being told what to do. Couldn't cope with the idea of more hyperactivity, I don't think. But anyway, cup of tea for me, cup of tea for him, and then we'll head over to the beach with a thermos flask of tea. That sounds like this is what today needs. This is what I need today. A little bit of space and a little bit of peace.